Many are called, but few are chosen. There's a reason you feel exhausted. A reason you feel like no one truly understands you. No matter how much you give, you're always the one left empty. The world is designed to keep you weak, to drain you before you ever realize how powerful you truly are. To make you second-guess your instincts, waste your energy on people who don't deserve it, and silence your voice before it ever finds its full strength. And the worst part? Most people never escape this trap. But you're not most people. If you're here, it means something inside you refuses to accept this reality. It means you've already felt the pull, the whisper that tells you there is more to this life, that you are not meant to be ordinary, that you were called for something greater. And you're right. But knowing is not enough, because power without protection is weakness. And if you don't know how to guard yourself, they will break you before you ever get the chance to rise. Stay with me. Because by the time this is over, you will have everything you need to move differently, to protect your energy, your purpose, and your power. Now let's uncover the 7 secrets to keep as a chosen one to protect yourself. I'd like to ask you to subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Secret number 1. Not everything should be shared. There is power in silence. A chosen one is given insights, wisdom, and revelations that are meant for them alone. The world is full of people who do not understand your journey, and when you reveal too much too soon, you risk diluting the energy of what was meant to be nurtured in secrecy. Every powerful idea needs incubation. A seed exposed before it takes root can easily be trampled. Some things are meant to be hidden until they are strong enough to stand on their own. But it's not just about protecting your ideas, it's about protecting yourself. There are those who listen not to understand, but to gather information, looking for ways to manipulate, to twist, to use your own words against you. When you share your dreams and struggles with the wrong people, you give them access to your vulnerabilities. You must discern who is worthy of your truth and who is simply looking for weaknesses to exploit. Not everyone who smiles at you is a friend. Not everyone who offers advice is doing so with pure intentions. Silence is your shield. The most powerful individuals in history understood this truth. Those who speak less control more. When you keep your next move hidden, you remain unpredictable. And unpredictability is power. It keeps others from interfering, from blocking your path before you've even had the chance to walk it. Those who announce their plans too soon often find themselves derailed before they can begin. The chosen ones who thrive are those who understand the art of discretion. There is an invisible war being waged against those who carry light. And the first attack, it never comes as an enemy. It comes as doubt disguised as advice. Every chosen one will encounter resistance, and often the attacks come not from enemies, but from those closest to them. The people who doubted you, who discouraged you, who subtly planted the seeds of fear in your mind, they were not always acting from malice, but their impact was just as dangerous. This is why moving in silence is not just strategy, it is survival. You cannot afford to let the wrong voices influence your destiny. Energy follows attention. When you share too much, you disperse your focus, allowing outside energy to mix with your own. This creates unnecessary resistance, making your path more difficult than it needs to be. Protect your focus by keeping your deepest desires sacred. Let your results speak louder than your words. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who constantly announce what they are working on. They are the ones who let their success reveal itself when the time is right. People fear what they do not understand, and when they see someone moving differently, building something beyond their comprehension, they often react with skepticism, jealousy, or even outright sabotage. This is why the strongest warriors are not the ones who seek approval or validation. They move with quiet confidence, allowing their actions to do the talking. They understand that real power is not in convincing others, but in proving to themselves that they are capable of greatness. When you understand the power of secrecy, you realize that it's not about being afraid of people, it's about being selective with your energy. Not everyone deserves access to your mind, your thoughts, your struggles. If you give away everything, you leave yourself open to manipulation, to energy leeches who take from you without ever replenishing your spirit. That's why chosen ones walk a different path. They protect their light, their insights, their goals, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Think about how many times you've shared something valuable only to be met with negativity, skepticism, or discouragement. How many ideas have died before they had the chance to thrive because you allowed the wrong energy into them? The moment you share something, it stops being just yours. It becomes vulnerable to outside influence. And that is why the greatest moves are made in silence. You owe no one an explanation for your growth, your progress, or your vision. Those who need to see will see, but only when it is already done. So ask yourself, how much of your journey have you been exposing to the wrong audience? How many dreams have you allowed to be infected by doubt, not because they weren't powerful, but because you let the wrong voices into your sacred space? Now is the time to reclaim your power, to move differently, to cultivate the strength of silence, because the less they know, the less they can control. And as you continue this path, you'll learn how to not only guard your words, but to guard your very energy before it is drained by forces you never even saw coming. Before continuing with our spiritual evolution, I'd like to ask you to subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Secret number 2. Guard your energy like a sacred flame. Energy is currency. Every interaction, every conversation, every place you step into is an exchange. As a chosen one, your energy is rare. It holds a frequency that many do not have, and because of that, people will be drawn to you. But not all of them come with good intentions. Some seek light because they lack their own. They don't know how to generate power, so they take it from others. And if you are not careful, they will drain you before you even realize what is happening. There are energy parasites, people who never seem satisfied, who always have a problem, who always need something from you. It's not always obvious. They don't attack with force, they attach themselves with subtlety. Some will use guilt. Some will use flattery. Some will make you feel like it is your responsibility to help them, to heal them, to carry their burdens. But in reality, their presence is not an exchange, it is a siphoning. Every time you leave a conversation feeling exhausted instead of inspired, you've been drained. And when this happens repeatedly, you start to lose yourself. You must become selective with your time, your space, your mind. Just because someone seeks your presence does not mean they deserve it. You do not owe everyone access to your energy. People who do not contribute to your growth, who only take and never replenish, must be distanced. This is not selfishness, this is survival. You cannot fulfill your mission if you are constantly depleted. You cannot become who you are meant to be if your strength is being stolen before it can be used. Think of your energy as a sacred flame. A fire that, if left unprotected, will be extinguished by the winds of others' chaos. That is why boundaries are not just important, they are necessary. Saying no does not make you unkind. Stepping away does not make you weak. It makes you wise. Protecting your energy is protecting your purpose. The chosen ones who understand this thrive. The ones who do not burn out before they can complete their mission. This world is filled with distractions, with people who will test your ability to remain centered. They will come to you with their problems, their complaints, their negativity, and without realizing it, you will start to carry weight that was never yours to bear. This is the danger of being an empathic soul. You feel the struggles of others, but you must learn the difference between compassion and absorption. You can offer guidance, you can offer support, but you cannot allow yourself to become their source of energy. They must find their own. Spiritual exhaustion is real, and it is one of the most effective ways to weaken a chosen one. When you are drained, your clarity fades. Your motivation disappears. Your light dims. You begin to question yourself, your path, your purpose. And the moment you are too exhausted to move forward, you become vulnerable to forces that seek to stop you. This is why protecting your energy is not just about feeling good, it is about maintaining your power. Without it, you cannot fight. Without it, you cannot rise. Have you ever noticed how some places make you feel heavy the moment you walk in? How certain conversations leave you feeling unsettled, even if nothing negative was said? That is energy. And if you ignore it, you will continue to subject yourself to environments and people that are slowly stripping you of your strength. You must become aware. You must start trusting what you feel, not just what you hear. The body always knows before the mind catches up. If something feels wrong, it is wrong. If someone drains you, they should not have access to you. There will be those who do not understand this, who take your boundaries as rejection, who accuse you of being cold or distant. But remember this, those who truly respect you will never demand access to your energy. They will never guilt you into giving more than you have. Those who get angry at your boundaries are the ones who benefited from you having none. You are not here to be drained. You are here to fulfill something greater. And you cannot do that if you are constantly exhausted. So take a moment to reflect. Who in your life brings you clarity, and who brings you chaos? Where do you feel lighter, and where do you feel like something is being taken from you? The answers are already there, waiting for you to acknowledge them. Once you do, everything changes. Because the moment you reclaim your energy, you reclaim your power. And once you do that, you will start to see something even more dangerous: how they use your emotions to control you. And if you don't learn how to stop it, they will manipulate you in ways you never saw coming. Secret number 3: the power of silence. Silence is not emptiness. It is power. It is the space where truth is revealed, where real strength is cultivated. The most powerful beings in history have understood one thing: the less you speak, the more control you hold. And yet, the world today encourages the opposite. People share everything: thoughts, plans, emotions, without realizing that the more they reveal, the more vulnerable they become. As a chosen one, you must understand this truth deeply. Your presence alone is enough. Your silence is not weakness, it is your greatest weapon. When you are silent, people become uncomfortable. They expect reactions. They expect validation. They expect access to your mind. But the moment you refuse to give it, they start revealing themselves instead. They fill in the gaps, expose their thoughts, their motives, their insecurities, without even realizing it. You learn more by observing than by speaking. This is the secret that few understand. The loudest person in the room is often the weakest. They speak because they need to. They speak because they cannot sit with themselves in stillness. But you do not need to prove anything. Your energy already speaks for you. There are those who will try to provoke you. They will push, they will test, they will throw words like knives, hoping to get a reaction. But when you stay still, when you refuse to respond, something shifts. The power returns to you. They lose control because they realize they never had any over you to begin with. The greatest warriors do not win battles with swords alone. They win by knowing when not to fight. And that is what your silence does. It disarms. It confuses. It forces others to expose themselves before they ever touch you. But there is something even more important than what silence does to others, is what it does for you. When you are silent, you hear things that are usually drowned out by the noise of the world. You hear your intuition more clearly. You sense energy shifts before they happen. You notice patterns, warnings, signs. You begin to see the game that most people don't even know they are playing. And because of that, you always stay ahead. This is why the wisest ones, the most powerful chosen ones, do not announce their moves. They let people assume. They let the world talk. And when the time comes, they act, without warning, without permission. There are those who fear silence, who take it as coldness, as arrogance. But those who truly understand know the truth. Silence is security. When you stop giving people access to your every thought, to your every feeling, you become untouchable. You no longer react to their provocations. You no longer give them openings to manipulate you. You no longer let them feed off your words, twisting them to fit their own agendas. And most importantly, you conserve your energy for what truly matters. Think about it. How many times have you regretted saying something too soon? How many times have you shared a dream, a plan, only to feel resistance right after? That is because words carry energy, and when you release them into the wrong hands, they can be used against you. This is why chosen ones must move differently. Some things are meant to be cultivated in private before they are shown to the world. Some plans are meant to be executed in silence. And the stronger you become, the more you will realize that most victories happen behind closed doors long before anyone ever sees them. But here is the real test. Can you handle the discomfort of your own silence? Can you sit in a room full of noise and choose stillness? Can you resist the urge to explain yourself, to prove yourself, to defend yourself, even when people are waiting for you to react? Because that is where true mastery lies. Is not in words, not in aggression, not in showing the world how strong you are. It is in knowing that you do not need to. Because the truth is, silence reveals everything. It exposes the real ones from the fakes. It makes people show their true colors without you lifting a finger. And most importantly, it keeps you in control of your mind, your energy, your destiny. But when silence doesn't work, they will try something else, something more dangerous. They will not attack you directly. They will not raise their voice. Instead, they will whisper, plant thoughts, twist the truth. Because the easiest way to break a chosen one is not through force, but through their own emotions. And if you do not learn how to master them, they will be used against you in ways you never expected. Secret number 4: mastering your emotions is the ultimate strength. Your emotions are your greatest power, but they are also the easiest way to be controlled. The world will test you, push you, and try to manipulate you through your feelings. If someone can control your emotions, they control your actions, your thoughts, and ultimately, your destiny. That's why mastering your emotions is not just a skill, it is a shield. The moment you allow external forces to dictate how you feel, you give away your strength. And if you lose control of your emotions, you become predictable, making it easier for others to manipulate you. Many people don't realize they are being manipulated until it's too late. They think they are simply reacting to situations, defending themselves, standing up for what they believe in. But in reality, they are being played like puppets. The more reactive you are, the easier you are to control. And that's exactly what they want. They want to see you angry, frustrated, doubtful, because when you're consumed by emotion, you're no longer thinking clearly. You're acting based on impulse, and impulsive actions are rarely wise. Imagine a battlefield where warriors are not fighting with weapons, but with words. The strongest ones are not the loudest. They are not the ones who swing wildly at every attack. They are the ones who stay calm, who watch, who wait, who choose their moves wisely. Because when you react emotionally, you show your weaknesses. You expose what hurts you. You reveal what can be used against you. And those who seek to manipulate you will take note of that. Every time you show anger, frustration, fear, they are learning how to control you. Most people live their lives enslaved by their emotions. They feel anger and lash out. They feel hurt and withdraw. They feel fear and run. But a chosen one must rise above this. Instead of reacting, you must observe. Instead of being controlled by your emotions, you must learn to channel them. When you master your emotions, you are no longer at the mercy of what happens around you. You move through life with clarity, knowing that no external force can shake you. This is the level of power that few attain, and it is the reason why chosen ones stand apart. But this is where the danger begins. When they see that you are no longer reacting, that their words, their tricks, their manipulation no longer work, they will switch strategies. They will try to isolate you. They will make you feel like you are alone, like no one understands you, like you are disconnected from your purpose. Because a chosen one without a strong foundation becomes vulnerable. They know that if they can't control your emotions, they can control your environment. And once that happens, even the strongest will fall. And when all else fails, they will resort to one final tactic, making you doubt yourself. They won't attack you directly. Instead, they will whisper, plant thoughts, twist the truth. They will try to make you question everything you once knew with certainty. They will make you feel lost, make you think you have been deceived all along. This is when you must hold on the strongest. When everything seems unclear, when doubt creeps in, when it feels like you're standing alone in the storm, this is where you find out what you are truly made of. The most powerful warriors in history were not the ones who never felt emotions. They were the ones who learned to harness them. Emotions are not your enemy, they are your tools. Your anger, when controlled, becomes passion. Your fear, when understood, becomes wisdom. Your sadness, when embraced, becomes healing. Those who understand this become unbreakable. But those who let their emotions lead them become easy targets. The world is watching, waiting for you to slip, to break, to react. But when you choose your response instead of reacting instinctively, you take back control. There is an old saying, he who angers you controls you. Think about that. How many times have you given your energy to people who did not deserve it? How many times have you allowed someone's words to dictate your mood? This is how they win. They get inside your mind. They turn your emotions into weapons against you. But the moment you see the game, you stop playing. You stop letting them pull your strings. You stop allowing the outside world to shake the foundation of who you are. That's when you become truly powerful. When they can no longer manipulate you emotionally, they will try to break you in other ways. They will attempt to remove your support system, create conflicts, isolate you from the people who give you strength. This is a classic tactic used to weaken those who cannot be controlled. Because when you are disconnected, when you feel alone, when you have no one to turn to, you become easier to manipulate. But here is what they don't realize. You don't need validation, you don't need reassurance, you don't need external approval to know who you are. You have already mastered the first step, awareness. Now the real challenge begins. Because mastering your emotions is not just about staying calm, it's about knowing when to act. It's about choosing your battles, deciding when to engage and when to walk away. It's about recognizing when you are being provoked and refusing to give away your power. And as you learn this, you become unstoppable. Not because you never feel, but because you have full control over how you respond. And once you have that control, nothing and no one will ever be able to manipulate you again. Secret number 5. Not everyone deserves access to you. Your time, energy, and presence are valuable, yet most people don't treat them that way. They take, they expect, they assume they are entitled to your thoughts, your plans, your attention. But here's the truth. Access to you is a privilege, not a right. Chosen ones do not live like everyone else. Your path is different, your energy is different, and because of that, you must move differently. The mistake most people make is believing that openness equals connection. But true connection isn't about letting everyone in, it's about knowing who deserves to stay. The strongest people in history were not the ones who shared everything with everyone. They were the ones who knew the power of discretion. The less people know about your plans, your struggles, and your moves, the less they can interfere. Not every friend is a true friend. Not every listener is someone who wants the best for you. Many people are curious, but not all are supportive. Some are watching, waiting, not to celebrate you, but to collect information, to find weaknesses, to use what they know against you. People often reveal themselves through their reactions. When you withhold details, when you stop sharing every thought, every success, every struggle, watch what happens. Those who truly respect you will understand. But those who only stayed around for access? They will become restless, irritated, even aggressive. That's because they never valued you. They only valued what they could get from you. And once that supply is cut off, their true intentions surface. This is how you separate those who genuinely support you from those who only seek to drain you. Many chosen ones feel guilty when they start setting boundaries. They think they are being selfish, too closed off, too distant. But protecting your energy is not selfish, it is survival. The world is filled with distractions, with people who drain more than they give, with situations designed to pull you away from your mission. You cannot allow access to just anyone. When you move in silence, you remain unpredictable. When you remain unpredictable, you remain in control. Your next step should never be obvious. Discretion also applies to your personal victories. It is natural to want to share good news, to celebrate, to tell the world when things are going right. But not everyone wants to see you win. Some people smile in front of you, but envy you behind your back. They may not attack you directly, but their energy, their doubt, their negativity can interfere with your momentum. That's why the wisest people share their success after it has already solidified. Move in silence, build in the dark, and when it's time, let your results speak louder than your words. It's important to understand that the greatest betrayals rarely come from enemies. They come from those you once trusted. The ones who knew your struggles, your weaknesses, your secrets. The ones who listened, who acted like they cared, but who, in reality, were waiting for the right moment to use that knowledge against you. That's why selective access is necessary. If someone does not bring peace, strength, or support into your life, they do not need to be close. Distance is not cruelty, it is wisdom. But here's the deeper lesson. Not everyone needs to understand you. Not everyone deserves an explanation for your choices, your boundaries, or your silence. Some people will demand to know why you're not as available, why you're not sharing like you used to. But the answer is simple. You have grown. You have learned. You no longer give your energy away freely. And if they cannot respect that, they were never meant to be part of your journey. When you master the art of discretion, you become untouchable. No one can sabotage what they do not know about. No one can interfere with what they cannot see. And most importantly, no one can manipulate you when they no longer have access to your mind. This is why the most powerful warriors are always the most unpredictable. They do not announce their next move, they simply take action. And when they realize they cannot control you, when they see that their tricks, their manipulation, their distractions no longer affect you, they will resort to their final tactic. They will try to separate you from your source of power. They will attempt to disconnect you from your mission, your purpose, your divine connection. Because a chosen one disconnected from their source is a chosen one at their weakest. That's why everything feels heavier now, why your energy is being tested, why the path seems more difficult than ever. But here's the thing, this is not just a challenge. It's a final test. And if you don't recognize it for what it is, you may fall right into their trap. Secret number 6, your connection to the divine is your greatest shield. Everything in this world is designed to pull you away from your true power. The distractions, the noise, the doubts, the chaos, they all serve one purpose, to disconnect you from your divine source. Because when you are disconnected, you are vulnerable. When your connection is strong, you are unstoppable. This is the ultimate secret that separates those who stay on their path from those who get lost along the way. There are forces that do not want you to realize this. They will try to make you believe that your strength comes from external things, success, status, validation from others. But that is an illusion. The truth is, your power has never come from outside of you. It has always been within. The more aligned you are with your source, the more clarity you have. The more clarity you have, the less control they have over you. This is why they work so hard to keep you distracted, exhausted, uncertain. Think about it. Why is it that every time you start feeling a sense of purpose, something tries to pull you away? Why do you feel drained after certain interactions? Why do you feel lost when you stop prioritizing your spiritual connection? That is not a coincidence. That is the strategy. They know that if they cannot break you, they will try to separate you from the one thing that gives you strength. This is why spiritual attacks do not always come as obvious battles. Sometimes they come disguised as endless busyness, emotional exhaustion, meaningless distractions. And if you are not careful, you will mistake them for normal life when, in reality, they are designed to weaken you. Protecting your connection means being intentional. It means understanding that your energy is sacred and that not everyone or everything deserves access to it. It means recognizing when something is draining you and having the discipline to remove it from your life. Your time alone, your moments of reflection, your deep conversations with your source, these are not luxuries. They are necessities. Without them, you will slowly become unrecognizable to yourself. The strongest warriors do not always fight with weapons. They fight by protecting their energy, their focus, their connection. The world will try to make you feel guilty for choosing solitude, for setting boundaries, for refusing to engage in things that drain you. Do not fall for this trap. The greatest chosen ones are not the ones who are the loudest. They are the ones who know how to preserve their power. Secret number 7, the trap of spiritual exhaustion. Even the strongest warriors can fall when they do not take time to recharge. Spiritual exhaustion is one of the most dangerous traps because it does not happen all at once. It happens gradually. You push yourself a little harder each day. You take on more than you should. You neglect the signs that you need to rest. Until one day, you realize you are empty. Burnout is not just physical, it is spiritual. And if you let it consume you for too long, something worse happens. You stop caring. Your passion fades. Your purpose weakens. And one day, you wake up feeling like a stranger in your own life. That's when they've won. It happens when you keep giving but never receive. And the worst part, it makes you question everything. Your purpose, your path, your abilities. The very things that once gave you life now feel like burdens. This is not because you are weak. It is because you have been running on empty for too long. The greatest mistake chosen ones make is believing they have to do everything alone. That they have to carry the weight of the world on their shoulders. That they cannot afford to slow down. But here is the truth. Without rest, without renewal, even the strongest will fall. You must learn the balance between pushing forward and knowing when to step back. This is not a sign of weakness. It is wisdom. There is a reason the most powerful forces in the universe operate in cycles. The moon has phases. The ocean has tides. Even the seasons change. Nothing in nature moves at full force forever. Yet, so many chosen ones believe they can. They push until they collapse, forgetting that even the greatest warriors need moments of stillness. You must prioritize your renewal. This means creating time to reflect, to disconnect from the noise, to allow your spirit to recover. It means not feeling guilty for choosing yourself. Because the truth is, if you do not take care of your energy, you will have nothing left to give. And when that happens, you do not just lose yourself, you lose your mission. There will be moments when everything in you wants to quit, when the path feels too heavy, when the battles feel endless. That is when you must remind yourself, this is not just exhaustion. This is the test, the final attempt to see if you will break. But you were never meant to break. You were meant to rise. Your journey is not about perfection, is not about having all the answers, is about staying connected to your purpose, to your strength, to the divine source that has guided you from the beginning. Your connection is your greatest weapon, your greatest shield, and your greatest responsibility. Protect it at all costs. Because once you do, you will realize something powerful. It was never them you had to fear. It was the moment you forgot who you truly are. Now you know the truth. You were never weak. You were never broken. You were never the problem. But the way you were moving, that was what was leaving you open to attack. They wanted you drained. They wanted you distracted. They wanted you doubting yourself. Because a chosen one who knows their power is unstoppable. And now you are no longer an easy target. If this video has changed your spiritual journey and helped you connect with your universal strength, subscribe to the channel, leave a like below and activate the notification bell so we can notify you when new content arrives. We also suggest watching the video indicated on the screen so you can continue your journey of spiritual growth and inner evolution of knowledge. Thank you for staying with us until the end, and see you in the next video.